Happy holidays, everyone. I'm sure that as we go into 2023 and coming to the end of December, that some of you are busy trying to prepare New Year's resolutions or even trying to plan ahead or doing your annual review for 2022. I just wanted to do a very quick video about one thing that I actually did or I actually learned about when I was previously also trying to do resolutions, and my resolutions weren't really successful. I was not being able to commit to those resolutions, and at the end of the day, I think after 3 4 months I just gave up. And what I realized was that if you're not in that habit of keeping committed to 5 7 or 10 different resolutions or 10 different practices that you are trying to cultivate or you're trying to build as a habit, more often than not will be able to commit to them for the first few weeks, but then after that you realize that they start tapering off, and then you realize that life gets in the way, work gets more hectic, you just don't have the motivation, and you totally stop even trying to attempt to keep to those resolutions. And at the end of the day, it's not that it's wrong that you don't keep the resolutions, but I think year after year, you might feel like you're stuck in an endless cycle. You're stuck in a rut. You're unable to get unstuck in that sense. And what I would like to share with everyone today is that before I go into some of the systems and some of the habits that I actually managed to cultivate over the past 2 years, and still to this day, keeping close to them, is that if you're trying to make New Year's resolutions, stop right now. Especially if you're not someone who's been able to keep to those resolutions in the past 2 to 3 years. I have an alternative. One alternative that I have is, rather than keep a New Year's list of resolutions, just focus on one thing, and that can be something very very small. It shouldn't even be something too complicated. Something that is on your worst days. For example, you had a bad day at work. You will woke up late for your transport. Maybe someone in your personal life, someone close to you, had a big argument with you. Imagine the worst possible day that can happen to you on any particular day, and then think about on that day, with the kind of physical and mental state that you are in, one simple thing that you can still continue doing regardless. So for me, I think it started very simply. I had two very simple habits that I kept every day, and that was one push-up and one sit-up, because I knew for a fact that regardless of how bad the day might be, I would still be able to do that one push-up and one sit-up. And most other days, I could do more than that, 5 push-ups or 5 sit-ups, or even 10 push-ups or 10 sit-ups. And on my worst days, or even on days where I probably stayed up a bit too late the night before playing video games or just going out with friends, even if I slept in, maybe I woke up really really late on a weekend, I could still do that one push-up or one sit-up and one sit-up right after I wake up or right before I go to sleep. And why we are looking at just focusing on that one thing is that you want to have that habit of consistency, commitment, and you want to be able to have that as a pillar so that you can build other habits on it. And this was something that I learned from a book that I read, called The One Thing. Really great book, really short book. I think you can probably finish it in about a few days, because it's only like about 100 200 pages. But the idea about The One Thing is that it really talks about focusing on one single thing that you can use to build momentum towards a particular goal, or even in order to focus your inertia, or to reduce the inertia, to get something done, to get unstuck in life. And in fact, if I were to look at my current counter, I can probably just quickly show it to you. You can see that when it comes to push-ups and sit-ups, I think I have almost about 282 days in a chain. So I actually started doing this back in, I believe, 2020. But then the chain got broken because of I think after getting the COVID booster shots. But then I kept back into it, and I think just using those simple goals as the cornerstones of my habit system really helped. And I think that's probably what you want to look at doing when you are trying to craft that New Year resolution or trying something different. Is that find that one thing, something that is super easy to complete, takes less than 5 minutes or even 10 minutes at most max, and something that you can do regardless of if you had your worst physical or mental day, and then use that, try to build on that. You can along the way add on more habits, but I believe that no matter what, that should be the one thing that you should never compromise on, so that eventually as you add more and more habits, you can always go back to that one thing to build to act as building blocks, to create a very consistent, committed, disciplined approach at trying to keep your habits. And that's all from me today, and until I see you next time.